I'm Corbitt with DVAuction, here with your feeder flash for Monday, August the 4th, brought to you in part by Macrocin by Mita, proudly manufactured in North America. It is proven efficacy at an affordable upfront price with no BS. That means no tricks, no hoops to jump through to get your rebate, just an affordable upfront price, guys. For more information, go to macrocin.com. Also, Joplin Regional Stockyards in Carthage, Missouri, they are expecting 8,000 head on their regular Monday feeder cattle auction here today. It starts at 5 o'clock in the morning. They'll have a lot of yearlings, just loads and loads, endless loads of yearlings, and all classes. They're well tested, just like they always do. They had a special cow sale on Thursday, just the other night there in the afternoon. Started at 4:30. Had a capacity crowd, which is really saying something at Joplin because they've got a monster sale facility there. But the young to middle-aged bred cows there, mostly second, third stage bred, bring from $3,550 up to $4,100 per head. They had some aged bred cows from $3,000 to $3,300. Bred heifers, the best one, selling from $3,300 to $3,500. So good special bred cow sale there for them. And check them out on DVAuction for all the auctions that Joplin Regional Stockyards has. Bulletproof, and that's the only way you can describe this market. Thursday was an absolute disaster. It was more than terrible. You don't see your feeder cattle contracts going down $7 to $8 in one session. Your live cattle contracts going down $5 to $6 in one session. They just absolutely pulled the rug out from under it, and it was a total disaster. And I think a lot of us were thinking, man, this has been an impressive rally, but likely the highs are in. Heck, this market just hopped over that. By Friday afternoon, it was all forgotten. The board was back up $2 to $3, and people were given bigger prices for cash cattle, feeder cattle, and fats. Your feedlots forced packers to pay higher after that disaster on the board. After that, on Friday, I mean, getting prices like $247 up in the northern plains for live fat cattle. We've never seen that on a direct basis, guys. And $390 dressed. We've never seen that. Southern plains getting up to $236, and I realize that's $11 or $12 underneath the northern plains, but they've never seen $236 before. And it's just unbelievable how bulletproof this market is. We had posted some all-time record high feeder cattle prices on Wednesday. Of course, your board was at all-time record highs on Wednesday before the big sell-off. We come back Friday and posted new all-time record highs at that big special that Dunlap Livestock Auction in Dunlap, Iowa had for their 75th anniversary barbecue sale there. I'm going to give you all that information later, but I was talking last week about the tariffs. They're coming in on Brazil, and Brazil is one of those countries that we've been getting so much grinding product brought over, and then we mix our extra fat that we have from these obese carcasses and the giant carcasses that we're producing now, and we mix it with that brush-fed stuff that's really lean, and then we make something palatable and make something marketable out of that. But tell you what, they're coming under strict tariffs now, and starting tomorrow or Wednesday, it's going to be early this week, starting, they are going to have like 76.5% tariff on everything they're sending, including beef. And that's going to make their beef wholesale to the packer to grind up. And then, lately they've been putting product of the USA after they put a little grinding in it. Eventually that's not going to be the way, but it has been up till now. But that stuff is costing them $5 So $5 a pound, I mean, that's as much as it costs in your supermarkets a lot of times. And our domestic grinding product is only $4.20. So they're not going to be bringing that Brazilian product over. So what's that mean? It's going to mean we're going to be getting it from other countries that don't have as much of a tariff, but really it's going to bring, domestically, we're going to be going after these cows. And we're already seeing it. You know, I told you guys on our Friday report last week, look out for these cows going up. Friday in Elk City, Oklahoma, a good friend of mine that works for a cow packer there, he said the top price for a kill cow in Elk City, Oklahoma was $1.98, people. $1.98. He said it was a good cow. He said probably make 59%, but still, that is a monster price. So if you guys have some salvage value cows that you hadn't got rid of, maybe you had them turned out, put them a little weight on them, it's time to sell them. It's time to sell them right now. And so, I mean, they're bringing big bucks, guys. Let's talk about your board for last week. August live cattle futures. Monday was up $1.40, Tuesday up $1.85, Wednesday up $3.35, and there was never going to be another poor day. Thursday down $5.30, but then Friday turned right back around and was up $2.35, with August live cattle contracts ending the week at $230.12, up $3.65 for the week. October ended the week at $224.77, up $1.62 for the week. Feeder cattle for August up $2.15 on Monday, up $2.67 on Tuesday, up $2.75 on Wednesday. Thursday down $7.57. Ouch! I mean, that took it all back. But then Friday up $3.20, and so your August contracts for feeder cattle ended the week at $334.57, up that $3.20, which it was up on Friday. September ended the week at $333.92, up $1.72. Amazing. December new crop corn, $4.10 3/4, down 8 1/4 cents a bushel. November new crop beans, $9.89 1/4, down 31 3/4. September hard red winter wheat, $5.18 3/4, down 7 3/4 cents a bushel for the week. Grains were down hard, guys. Look about your fat cattle trade. Now, up through Thursday, we had sold 37,500, which is not terrible. We'd sold some cattle early in the week before the sell-off on the board, a little bit higher than the previous week. I mean, it was looking like it was going to be a good deal, but then we assumed whenever that board crashed on Thursday that, you know, the packers were going to have it. They don't have any of the leverage in the trade, guys. They are just so short bought. You know, I talked to a guy that on Sunday, they were bidding him needing cattle for Monday at a small regional plant. I mean, they are just so short bought and close to the knife. It's unbelievable. But live sales of fat steers and heifers, negotiated trade, direct trade out of the 5-area feeding region, $235 to $245 last week, and that's steady to $11 higher. Your weighted average on live steers, $242.69, up $331 compared to the previous week. Dress sales from $381 to $390, that was $6 higher. Dressed steers weighted average $383.60, up $410. But then Friday it was a little bit better than that, and we sold quite a few cattle. In Iowa, they posted sales on Friday of 2,500 head, 16,900 for the week, 240 to 245 in Iowa, 380 to 385 dressed. Nebraska sold 6,700 on Friday. That's before the 2 o'clock deadline. There was likely more than that later. 20,800 for the week. That's about what Nebraska's been doing. But 240 to 247, and heavy on the 247 in Nebraska on Friday. Dress sales from 380 to 386. Kansas sold 2,200 on Friday, 7,700 for the week, 235 to 236. Texas sold 400 and 3,900 for the week, with their live price at 235, and that's straight up $5 higher than the previous week in Texas. Now, very important there, the Fed Cattle Exchange is about our only market transparency a lot of times, guys. And the Fed Cattle Exchange on their Friday auction posted live sales in Colorado at 245 on good cattle up there, both live weight and bid the grid. We never get any market transparency out of Colorado. Nobody knows nothing about what goes on in Colorado because of the confidentiality rules with mandatory price reporting. We never get a quote of live cattle or fed cattle sales out of Colorado. We get it on the Fed Cattle Exchange. They're very transparent, tell us everything. On Friday, it was 245, both live weight marketing and bid the grid. For some reason, we got several places that report the market like I do, but they don't let you know that. I don't understand why they don't let you know that. But they also sold cattle in Iowa at 245 bid the grid, and 235 cash, live cash in Texas. So the Fed Cattle Exchange is putting competition back in the market, and they're transparent. They're a price discovery place. I recommend it. It's a good way to sell your cattle. If you're not thinking you can get in on these better prices, consign them to the Fed Cattle Exchange. They'll sell them for you. What about box beef cutout values? Last week's choice weighted average on the whole week sales, 360, 369, down 568 from the previous week's weighted average. By Friday's late sales in the afternoon, it was 360, 322. It was about a half a dollar under that weighted average. Your select weighted average on all of last week's sales, 342.42, down 463 compared to the previous week's weighted average. And by late sales on Friday, it was about $2 less than that at 340 and a half. So they're still struggling to get their dressed beef prices up. Your choice select spread on the weighted average was 21.27. All that information on 559 loads of cuts, grinds, and trimmings. Your slaughter was embarrassingly light. They've slacked this slaughter down to nearly nothing. You know, last week I told you it was the lightest non-holiday slaughter in 10 years. And it was a big deal. It was under 550,000 at 549,000 last week, or the previous week. This past week, it was 14,000 less than that. So another, more than 10 years lighter than any other non-holiday kill for the week. 535,000, 14,000 less than the previous week, 58,000 head lighter than the same week a year ago. Tell you what, that is really tight, and your packers still have no leverage in the trade. So, they may be under the gun for quite a while here, guys. Let's talk about your feeder cattle market, brought to you by Specialty Risk Insurance. They are working to protect your livelihood. Your real-time index ended the week at 337.77, up 695 for the week. Big-time gains, with your board being that much on Thursday down. But then Friday, it kept going up. It was up on Friday. Your latest CME cash feeder cattle index at the end of the week was 335.89, but it's still got to realize your Friday sales. I'm coming to you from Kansas City, Kansas, actually on the Kansas side at DVAuction's annual retreat. We do this about every year, not always, but actually at the Margaritaville Resort. But we've got meetings here for a couple of days, and it's good to see the guys that I work with in person. But looking forward to this event. Your feeder cattle markets last week, your trends in your sale barns, cash feeder sales $5 to $12 higher, spots $20 higher on all classes, selling bull and calves very well If you're not going to wean your calves, sell them now. Don't wait till October. Wait till the fall when we've got these big price spreads and everything, and you got everybody else selling them. They'll bring more now if you sell those balling calves now. It's hot, but it's consistent, and it's consistently hot everywhere. It's not going to put them under as much stress as it will when the temperatures start changing, and then they're going to have more competition. They won't bring as big a price. Everybody wants them now. Sell them now. Of course, Dunlap Livestock Auction, Dunlap, Iowa. Good friends of mine up there. They had their 75th anniversary barbecue customer appreciation special there. 3,600 head. The market was sharply higher, and just think how much higher than it was a couple months ago when they had the World Champion Livestock Auctioneer contest there. We thought it was unbelievable then. It's that much more unbelievable now. They were your Superior Steel Sales, home of Superior Standard Handling Equipment stick-out sale of the day. You look at this automated market report from Dunlap Livestock Auction. Look at your best tested weights. 183 head of 6-weight steers average 652 with a weighted average price of $390.61. 440 head of the 7-weight steers average 759 at $358.85. There were 300 head of the 8-weight steers averaged 840 at $335.29, and 169 head of the 9-weight steers averaged 932 pounds with a weighted average price of $311.55. The heifers, 356 head of 5-weight heifers averaged 567 at $382.08. 138 head of the 6-weight heifers averaged 656 at $343.39. 736 head of the 7-weight heifers averaged 743 at $339.71. And 384 head of the 8-weight heifers in Dunlap averaged 835 with a weighted average price of $314.12. Impressive quotes from all over the circuit late last week and over the weekend. How about Manhattan Commission Company in Manhattan, Kansas there? They have good sales all the time. They sold 2 loads of steers, weighed 705, bring 385 on Friday in Manhattan, Kansas there. How about Bluegrass Stockyards in Richmond, Kentucky? That's Jim Doss's location there. He's been doing a great job forever and a great guy. He sold 60 head of 879-pound steers at $338.25 through the ring in Kentucky. But the most impressive quote that I saw anywhere late last week or over the weekend, and your Macrocin No BS top quote for the day, indeed come from Dunlap Livestock Auction. This is the new all-time high for feeder steers. 70 head of 812-pound steers bring $369.25. Wow. And that's your feeder flash for Monday.